this is, I know, the most extensive North American tour you've ever done.
Yes.
Is it also, do you think it's safe to say, the one you're most looking forward to?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, because after, I mean, we've spoken so many times through so many different moments in my life, and it's like, you know, this, being able to do this tour at this time in my life to celebrate with my fans is a really cool thing.
Yeah. How will it be different for people who have seen your past shows? How will the Adventures of Mimi be different?
Well, in a lot of ways, I think. Yeah. First of all, I'm in a different place than I've been at in terms of performing before. I think on my last tour I was more relaxed, and I got to be more relaxed because I was on the road for so long. But this is different because there's like brand new, really big hit records to do, and it's interesting to combine those songs with songs I've done in the past, to kind of revamp older songs, to kind of merge the whole thing together and just approach it from a purely musical point of view, and then add kind of the excitement of the show on top of it. And really, it's like I couldn't not tour right now because my fans have been so incredibly supportive of me for so long, and this is our celebratory moment.
I mean, this is probably, I venture to say, is going into a tour, I mean, I don't know if you've ever gone into one with this much momentum, and I mean, people are just hungry to hear this stuff live, right?
Right. It's, you know what, that's kind of the great thing about it. It's because, like, I feel like people know these songs now, so it's not like I have to be like, okay, here's my new song, and try, like, to make it so close to what it is. It's like, at this point,
if you'd gone out a year ago, it would have been like that.
Yes, it would have been like, here's my new material, I hope you like it, you know, want to hear it, here it goes.
Right.
At this point, it's like, you know, they're waiting for We Belong Together or Shake It Off or It's Like That or Don't Forget About Us or whatever, as much as they would be waiting for like Honey or Fantasy or Dream Lover or My All or one of those songs. So it's kind of like, it's cool for me to be able to approach this from a musical standpoint, like I said, and then from like, I'm looking at this show as like a party, if that makes any sense at all.
Right, right.
Like I want people who come out, to this show to feel like they've gone to a party where maybe like some of those moments have been like a little more intense than others. Like, you know, when you could be at a party and then like your friend may take you aside and you have like an intense conversation, and then like somebody else you haven't seen in a million years comes along and they're like, yay, and it's festive. You know what I mean? It's like the real ups and downs, the real roller coaster ride of my life and of my journey. I'm trying to kind of like insert as much of that into this whole tour as I can, all the while not taking myself or anything too seriously, but still knowing that there are people who really do need to hear the uplifting moments and who do need to cry during those sad songs and who do want to just have an experience.
I know how much it means to the Logo audience to have you talking to them. Let me ask you what the Logo audience, or the gay audience in general, has meant to your career. How big an impact have gay fans made on your career?
I think that gay fans have had an enormous impact on my career. You know, I'm not one of those people who likes to generalize about any group of people, you know, and maybe that stems from me being biracial and the fact that I'm not about a stereotypical anything. But I will say that I love, like, we've talked about, like, when I'll work with different remixers who do things that are really geared towards, you know, perhaps geared towards the gay audience more. I love to go in and re-sing the songs, rewrite the songs, kind of conceptualize what they're going to be, whether I'm working with David Morales or any of the people I've worked with over the years. And I think that I try to integrate that into the show as well. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, I love the hip-hop versions of the songs that I do, and they're always really, really close to my heart. But there's some of those house mixes, like the Dream Lover, you know, remix and Fantasy, that I'm like, this was hot, like, whatever. I may have been like, you know what I love about those records? I could go into the studio, rewrite them, re-sing them, but feel really free while doing it. And maybe there's something to be said for that as to why they became so successful. Because it wasn't like I was sitting there calculatedly thinking like, this is for the gay crowd. It was just like, this is me doing what I love to do. I'm reinventing a song over a totally new beat, adding background vocals, adding drama, adding kind of like big vocal moments, and that's fun for me.
But it was liberating in a sense for you too, because that was you mentioned David Morales, those remixes, that was part of what helped people start to see you as something other than girl behind the mic, you know, singing big ballads.
Yes, definitely. And I think that, you know, I think about the times when even if we're talking about like fantasy, I have a specific memory of being with David Morales. I believe we did that remix at Sing Sing, a.k.a. in my former residence in Bedford. And that was like one of the only times that I could feel like, all right, I'm going to relax. I may even have like a glass of wine, sing this song from top to bottom. And that's how we got the fantasy into the Daydream interlude, and that's where the title, Daydream, came from. And it's because David had such a way of doing his remixes where musically they just kind of evolve, and so I tried to make the vocals, you know, evolve with the music, and that's one of my favorite ones.
Now, I asked you when the Mimi record came out and the old Vera Wang dress made its reappearance, how you felt about the prospect of marriage again down the line, and at the time it was like, who knows? Is it still who knows, or is it, I mean, is it a possibility, a realistic possibility?
I would like to think that it's a realistic possibility, but you know, as I look at a lot of like the celebrity relationships and the celebrities when they have kids, and this is not a judgment, this is just me and how I feel, and I think it has a lot to do with me growing up feeling different, that I feel like being a person who's in the public eye, when you have children, you're automatically bringing them into this earth as celebrities or people that are going to be under the, you know, scrutiny of the public eye. And I feel like in a lot of ways that's a decision that one should make on their own. So I don't know where I stand on that, because really if I got married it would be to have kids. So I just have to keep an open mind about everything. My mother, being a performer, being an opera singer, being, you know, even though she was from the Midwest and a very kind of strict upbringing, you know, when she moved to New York to go to Juilliard and then eventually sang with City Opera, and then, you know, her life there, and then she kind of like, that sort of transcended into like her living in the suburbs, which was like her in the suburbs to me. Like, I don't understand the blend. But I mean, I think, you know, definitely for someone that, I mean, you know, I moved around like 13 times in the suburbs and wherever, back and forth, boroughs, whatever, as a kid. I think that being exposed to all different types of people allowed me to be less judgmental and to be less closed-minded about people in general, and also the fact that I always felt like somebody that was different, somebody that was not the norm, you know what I mean? Because just being biracial, being in areas where we weren't the white picket fence moment, you know, like me and my mom and like her different friends, even if it wasn't, you know, a gay couple, it was just like her like jazz musicians friends like, that came over, and like we would sing I Can't Give You Anything But Love till 4 in the morning when I'm 10 years old. Like, that's not normal. But whatever, it allowed me to become the person that I am, and I think that it did give me a better perspective on, you know, really taking people in for who they are inside as opposed to preconceived notions about people.
You know, when they talk about gay icons, I'm not even sure necessarily what that means, but would you consider yourself up there, you know?
You know what? It's so weird with the words icon and idol and this and that, and you know, it's difficult for me because I'm like, literally, like, I try to relate to each person as an individual. So it's like, you know, I'll speak about things, well, this particular demographic, it's like I try to be so politically correct because I know how it feels when people don't necessarily realize all the things that I am, and they're talking or making generalizations about different groups of people, and I'll be like, well, hello, like, you're talking to someone that's a multitude of things here. So
any of this stuff is so hard to talk in kind of broad strokes.
That's what I think it is, because, you know, I've known a lot of people who've been great people, and whether they're gay, straight, black, white, you know, Hispanic, whatever, Asian, it really just depends on the person. And I think if everybody got that into their minds and stopped generalizing, that's when we would kind of advance a little bit further. Stop judging and generalizing.